Listen, you know what time it is. It's time for another episode of your favorite podcast entitled We Hate You, Internet! All right, gather around once again. It is your favorite podcast. We Hate You, Internet. It's a podcast designed to bring awareness to some of the problematic effects of the internet on our lives, as well as celebrate the beautiful simplicity of our humanity. I'm your host, Wilfred Hamilton. And once again, I'm riding solo dolo. You know what I mean? We in this thing. Like I said, Clara is still involved with the platform. She's kind of crossing some T's and dotting some I's in her life. But she should be back here. Probably should be back next week, from my understanding. And so, everybody's excited about that. Everybody loves Clara, and I'm pretty excited about it too. She good people. We want to just first, start off like we always do, just telling people, thank you for tuning in to the podcast. We appreciate all the support. This is episode 53. Last week, Monday we talked about. We talked about, how rare it is for a podcast to get to 50 episodes. And here we are at 53, and we are still rocking and rolling. You know what I mean? Today, one thing I say I want to really work on is jumping into the content instead of running my mouth all day. Today, we want to talk about why there is pee in the pool. You know what I'm saying? It's a statement that I've heard people make about the dating pool. And they're like, there's pee in the pool. I thought it was pretty funny. There's tons of content about dating and all that kind of mess. You've heard a lot of this stuff that we're talking about. But I just wanted to kind of just run it straight as far as the reason why it's so difficult. It really ought not be. And in reality, it really shouldn't be. I'm gonna give some solutions to the problem today. The issue is that it's pretty real, and you may not like it, but it's up to you to decide whether you want to follow those things or not. You know what I'm saying? But before we can get to the solutions to the problem, we got to deal with the issues. You know what I'm saying? Like why it's a problem to begin with. And, typically I'm pretty an even, kind of nice guy or whatever. But for this episode, I think that I'm going to take a different tone because I think that it's the most effective way to deal with it. You may not like some of the things I have to say, but hey, you know what I'm saying? Leave something in the comment section, I guess. I don't know. But just know that as we jump into this, I say these things to be helpful. But I think people need to just wake up and understand, this is the situation. This is the reason why the issue of this has become such an issue and it's become such a challenge. It's because of these things. And you can decide how you want to engage those things. There is no easy fix or whatever, but it's something that each individual will decide for themselves how they want to engage this problem. You can continue to sit on the sidelines and complain and throw blame and all that kind of jazz, or you can make some adjustments and take a different approach. You know what I mean? That's for you to decide. So today, we're talking about the issues why there is pee in the pool. So I want to talk. I'm not really into trying to throw blame, but I think that there's enough blame to go around for both male and female in this, so we're gonna be dealing with it from both angles. Issues, right? We have abandoned or disregarded our natural value. That's the first issue, first problem. You know what I mean? We're all born innately, male and female. We are designed in our nature by God to have natural value. I was talking to a coworker of mine. She's pregnant, and she's toward the end. You know what I mean? Anybody that's been pregnant for, I have 4 kids. I've never personally been pregnant. But I've gone through the process with my wife. You know what I mean? I've been a close observer 4 times. And so, it's funny because when you have a child, this child grows in your stomach and it grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. And then at first, women are nervous about the childbearing process because it's painful. They know, especially when your first child, you don't know what to expect, but you've heard that it's quite the ordeal. You know what I mean? You're nervous and you're scared about it. But then God does an amazing thing, toward 8 months, 8.5, women, that weight start getting heavy, your back start hurting, your knees carrying all that weight, and heartburn, all these different little issues that you got going on. And then you finally get to the point where you're like, I don't care how bad this hurts. I just want to get this over with. And by the time you get to, 36 weeks, full term is 40 weeks. People say 9 months, but, 9.5, almost 10. And so by the time you get there, you just like, man, I am ready to go. That's all you care about is getting this baby out of your belly. Not that you don't love the baby. You just have fallen out of love with the process. And so, but to go through that process and to realize like you have a human being growing inside of you. Like if people really slow down and think about that, I'm really grateful, right? There are certain things, we've modified our life and our society so much as human beings. We've gotten so far away from our natural order and our natural design that like we almost forget how things actually work. You know what I mean? Like you go to a burger joint, and if they have 100% ground beef, you forget that like that's an actual cow, it's an actual animal. You know what I'm saying? That somebody killed and then grinded it up, and like that's what you're eating. You know what I mean? You go and eat eggs and breakfast tacos and all that kind of jazz. Like that's eggs. That is underdeveloped chicken. Like that's what it is. Like you eat that slice of bacon that you love so much. That is a piece of a pig. Like that's, or it's turkey. If you either way, that thing used to be alive, and they just cut a piece out of it, and you fry it up and you eat it. You say, well, I'm vegan. Well, nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? Like, your food, everything you eat has a source. It comes from somewhere, and then it's manufactured, and it's crafted to be what comes across, what you grab off the aisles in the grocery store, and what you put in your refrigerators and in your ovens. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we're so far away from that process of like actually catching and like preparing meals the real natural way, that we forget the reality of it altogether. But there are certain things that in our reality, in our lives, that bring us back to like the natural order. It kind of shocks us back to like how things actually work. And childbirth is one of those things. There is no fast forward button on the development of a fetus. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then when you go through the childbirth process, you can take all the Demerol and epidurals you want. You still gonna feel something. You know what I mean? And if you get that, and if you get the C-section when you wake up, you definitely gonna feel something. So, but it's just going through that process. It's like, wow, like this is how human beings are born. You know what I mean? This is how every human being you see walking around on the earth, they came this way. And it brings us back to like how things naturally are. And for a woman, it's a really powerful moment, like, and a powerful process when you realize that you were the conduit to bring another human being on the planet. You know what I mean? You don't go to the store. Like, it ain't like the stories they tell me a stork brought it. Like, it comes from inside of you, man. It's really a powerful thing. And so we talk about natural value, and I'm using that as an example. A woman's natural value can be found in childbearing. Now, somebody may be like, "Oh man, you trying to reduce a woman to?" Man, listen, I'm not interested in all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be honest. Like, and I'm not trying to have an attitude, but people love to criticize and try to find fault instead of just understanding the point. And that's another reason why people have such a hard time connecting, is because they want to argue so much instead of just being reasonable and listening to the point. Is it a good point? Is it a valid point? If it's valid, then accept it as such. It's okay to question things. By no means am I saying I can't be questioned, but if the point is valid, then the point is valid, and accept it as such and move forward. Adjust your thinking. That's all. Don't be so contentious about everything. Everybody want to argue and want to be right about stuff, and that's part of the problem. So anyway, you bring forth this child, and like, that's a powerful thing. I mean, it takes a man and a woman to create a baby, obviously, but the woman is the carrier, and she's the one who brings this child forth. And it's a powerful thing, and I'm gonna just keep it real. For a woman who loves a man, it's almost like an indescribable gift to be able to give this man that you love a child. He can't do it himself. It takes you. And it's something special to a woman that she's able to give this man offspring. Like, and you ask anybody that love their husband or that love somebody, they'll tell you like, man, it's I can't even describe how special that is that I can give him this. That's natural value. Now, someone would say, well, everybody can't have a baby, so that means they don't have value. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I say, you may not like all the answers that I give, but to a man that wants children, she's not that valuable because she cannot give him what he wants, what he desires. That don't mean that she don't have value at all, and that don't mean that all your value as a woman is tied to that. But that, I'm just giving you an example of natural value. A woman's softness and her femininity is of natural value. I tell my daughter, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got 3 sons and a daughter. I tell my daughter, you know, being a wife, she wants to be married one day. Being a wife, she wants to have companionship. She wants to have a man that make her feel safe, right? It's natural. And it's somebody other than just her daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I tell her, you know, with all the success that you can try to get in the world as far as professionally, and that's what I mean by people have abandoned their natural value. Women have abandoned the things that make them naturally value, and they're trying to reestablish their value according to other standards. And that's the reason why you're having such a hard time. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to accomplish things. It's not a problem. You're smart. You have ambition. No problem. But if the skills it takes to be successful in business and entrepreneurship and whatever the case you're trying to do, these are not the same skills that are going to make you successful as a wife. Point blank. Period. Being a wife, like it takes for you to understand your position. People, and like I said, it's the rebellion of women that cause them not to get what they want. And ultimately, that's the problem. Forget like cultural, societal constructs and all that. Forget all that mess. We talking about what is keeping you from getting what you want. This is the stuff that's keeping you from getting what you want. You know what I mean? Like you have this imagination in your head, and it's destroying your ability to have what you want, to be happy. We talked about that last week. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, Monday. We used to upload once a week. But, you know, and that's the issue. You abandon your femininity. Your femininity makes you valuable in relationships. A guy doesn't value the same thing that a woman does, and vice versa. That's what makes them compatible. That's what makes their relationship work. Is that men are not women. They want different things, but they both can offer the thing that each other needs. They are a natural fit. It's no different than dogs, lions, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Are you reducing us to animals? Listen, man, once again, let's not pretend and play games like you don't understand what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like a female dog come in heat, the male dogs go around, and if you let Tyson or Jefferson off his leash, you know what I'm saying, take his sweater off, you know, people dressing their dogs and all that kind of stuff. Hey, listen, you do what you want. You do what you want to do. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? But if he get off the leash, he gonna be out there, you know what I'm saying, like George Clinton and them say, why must I feel like that? Why must I? Anyway, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be out there chasing. That's what they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be out there getting dirty, you know what I mean? And following this female dog around all over the place, waiting for the opportunity to try to sneak one in. That's what they're going to be out there rumbling and rolling all around each other with all the males to try to get a chance to mate with this female. It's natural. Natural compatibility. You see what I'm saying? Now with males, we ain't necessarily, now as human beings, we're not necessarily rolling like that. But it's the same concept. You see what I'm saying? Like there's a value that a woman has because of her femininity and to men. And then there's a value that men have because of their masculinity to women. We complicated that by changing the expectations. But like, if you want to, like I said, clean up the pool, this is what it takes. You're going to have to understand and acknowledge, separate and apart from your career choices and the amount of money and all the objectives and the compliments and the accolades, man, listen, that's not it. It's real simple. You are valuable to a man because you are a woman. Learn how to be a woman. Learn how to walk in your femininity. You are naturally weaker than him. Learn how to walk in that weakness. Now, I talked about this before. Learn how to let him be strong for you. Learn how to speak to his strength because it's natural for him to want to be the stronger one. That's natural. You see what I'm saying? And the more you try to like alter that and expect him to like be a partner and all that kind of jazz, like you're losing it, and you're not gonna get what you want. In your head, you think, I want a partner. No, you don't. You want a head. You want a protector. You want somebody that you can trust and you can hide behind. I don't need to hide behind no man, blah, 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 blah. And they trigger you, whatever. That's why you don't have what you want. Because instead of you accepting that fact, because you don't want no weak man. You don't want no man that's passive and that's all like, and tenderfoot and all that kind of mess. You know what I'm saying? You can't have it both ways. You want a man that when stuff hit the fan, he gonna stand up, he gonna handle his business. He ain't gonna cower and run away. He gonna stand sturdy. And you can lean on him and he ain't gonna fall. That's what you want. You know what I mean? But you're not gonna ever get that operating in the way that you're operating. People, the other content they talk about women being masculine, and that's kind of true. You know what I'm saying? But that's what society is trying to create. Society is creating this. They want to make this world where everybody's equal, but nature teaches us that is just not true. And the more we fight against nature, the more difficult and complex such a simple thing as compatibility becomes. You know what I'm saying? Point blank period. Now, for the men, I already talked about it. Like, your natural function is protector. It is to be the stronger one. That is your natural function. A lot of men have taken on this idea of that we're all equal, and like that being passive and abandoning your masculinity and your power. You know what I mean? Because of society, because of the comment sections, because whatever. But listen, man, you are what you are. A male lion will always be a male lion. He will not be a female lion. He has to be. He is the head of the pack. Point blank. Period. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be something else, you never gonna be. You're never gonna be able to fulfill and be who you really are. I'm gonna tell you. We talking about blame going around. Like, women look for men for security, and we ain't talking about just financial security. Because now we getting to a point like it used to be back in the day, like, yo, and people like, well, kings had multiple wives and blah, blah, blah. Well, part of that was because of resources, you know what I'm saying? And like financial security. But now women don't necessarily, because of our society, don't necessarily need men for that exclusively anymore. And you just got to understand and accept that too. But your value goes beyond just your financial power, which you can secure from a financial perspective. Really, the security, it goes beyond that to her feeling physically safe. Now, that includes the financial part. But beyond that, it's being emotionally and mentally safe. You know what I'm saying? Where, like, she can relax around you. That's the key to a woman's heart. That's what women want. A woman gonna test you because she gonna test to see how strong you are. You got to be willing to stand and say, man, this is who I am, this is who I'm not. This is what I'm going to accept. This is what I'm not going to accept. Not to try to be like brutish and like, I'm a man's man. No, but it's just, I'm a leader. That's what it is. That's what you have to accept that you are, man. You have to be a leader. You have to develop into being a leader that people and that your wife can follow and trust. They can trust your leadership. If you're irresponsible, if you're soft and a weakling, we ain't talking about wearing wife beaters and, you know what I'm saying, and like being a tough guy with jewelry and sunglasses. Man, who cares about that mess? We talking about being able to face real life. That's high school kid stuff. You know what I'm saying? Elevate and step your game up as a man. I tell people all the time, I tell guys all the time, man, listen, you got to be a man. You are not a woman. You will never be a female. The world will never see you as a female, ever. They will always see you as a male because you are bigger than a woman. And they're going to expect you because that is your function. Point blank, period. Ain't nobody going to see a woman hurt and a man hurt and going to go grab the man and be like, man, are you okay, sir? It'll never happen. They're going to go get that little woman first because she is the weaker. Point blank, period. And you need to understand and accept that and understand that is your role as the stronger. It is what it is. That don't mean you perfect. That don't mean you're going to always have, that don't mean you don't have your own problems, but you're going to have to understand that I am born a man, just like a woman is born a woman, and she should walk in her femininity, and it's her softness and her vulnerability that makes her attractive to a man that he wants to protect her. Same thing, as a man, it is your power and your strength and your stability that draws a woman. It is what it is. All the comment sections, all this stuff people talking about, they just run their mouth because of the society and because of all they get the support of all the other people in the comment section that are ignorant, that don't know what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to have a relationship with somebody and have a family with them, then you're going to have to learn how to play your role. And God, through nature, is already giving you that role. You're going to have to accept it. Point blank, period. A man, you're going to have to be a man, a woman, a man that a woman can depend on. Now, that comes back down to promiscuity. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you run around trying to bend everything and, like, you can't control your loins, then that's another reason why women are so, like, elusive and, like, non-compliant. It's because a lot of men have shown themselves to be untrustworthy. You use women. Like you said, it's enough blame to go around. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just trying to have this hookup culture and go have sex all over the place. Like, that's the problem. Men and females. You want to go out and just give yourself to anybody because you feel some type of way. Well, and this whole idea that, men's sexual value goes up when they go around having, no, they don't. They just show themselves to lack control and you're only creating vices for yourself down the road when you try to be faithful to somebody. Because now you know what it tastes like to have different flavors. And now you start craving. You know what I'm saying? Like, fornication, having sex all over the place, casual sex is not cool. It just shows a lack of self-control and a lack of wisdom, if we're being honest. So men have created this problem with their lack of control. You know what I mean? And now, if you want to try to do something different, then you're going to have to operate different. You can't go around talking about I'm finna go bed down everything. You need to start thinking about, like, hey, I'm not trying to have sex with nobody unless I get married. Now, you can say what you want to say about that, but you set a standard for self-control for yourself. And when you meet some woman and she starts trying to test you and start trying to pick you apart and trying to find ways to try to, like, push your buttons and all that kind of, like, because women do that kind of stuff, and hey, whatever. Like, you need to be able to say, nah, like, I'm sturdy. Like I'm gentle, and I know how to be gentle. I know how to be caring, but I'm also, you ain't finna punk me. You're not finna, like, I'm not gonna bend for you. Not like that. I have my standards. I'm gonna keep them. Like, there's nothing more powerful than a man that keep his word. When I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. That equals dependability. Nothing more powerful than that. And that's such a simple thing, but it's a difficult thing to try to do. You know what I mean? But you need to be dependable. You keep your word. There was a time when that was a thing for a man, like a man keep his word. Now people lie all the time and, whatever. But hey, this is the solution to your problems. You can't control what other people do, but as a man, if you're listening, you can control what you do. Be a man of your word. Be accountable for your decisions. Show yourself to be a person who can be depended on. And then you will find a woman who will love you, no matter what you look like. You may not be the most attractive man, but if you can show yourself and prove that, hey, listen, I am a man. I am a leader, and I can guide you and our family. And if you hold that line, a woman will have no choice but to respect you. And then you'll find that they find comfort in your presence. That's the way to a woman's heart. You know what I'm saying? And so, that time is running. I had some other stuff that I was going to deal with, but I'm not going to just go because we be running all day long. So I'm going to start trying to put a bow on it. But I think that we touched on enough at least to give you some of what the problems are. Then we're going to deal with the solutions. And honestly, the solution, we've already discussed it. You know what I mean? Like, a woman needs to learn how to operate in her femininity. I can't operate in my femininity because these men ain't no good, blah, 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 blah. Listen, if you want to find a good man, then you need to present yourself as a feminine woman. Period. You being a boss being about your accomplishments, and I got my college degree, and I don't need no man. I can take care of my, well, you ain't never gonna find a good man. That's what I'm talking about. A good, dependable man with that attitude. One of the most important, I got to make this point, and then we're gonna wrap it up. One of the main issues with people, and the reason why they can't get along, is because they are selfish. They refuse to compromise. If you want to have a relationship, you're going to have to take the loss sometimes. Everything can't be the way you want it to be. And society has, and especially social media, has taught us that, like, everything, like, you want it to be, everybody has this imagination, this illusion in their head that they want. And then the person that they're with, their companion, is just an accessory to that illusion. That's all that they are. And if you treat people like that, then that's the reason why you always end up alone. That's all the reason. That's why y'all relationships continue to break down. Is because you do not know how to share. You don't know how to compromise. And you're willing to compromise things you're willing to compromise, but in a relationship, sometimes you have to compromise stuff that you don't want to compromise. Because this thing ain't always going to be about you. You ain't always be happy with everything. But you have to learn how to make space for this other person. That's the reason why people that have accomplished so much, women that are older, they wait till they get old and they want to have a relationship. They got a house and they got their own stuff and blah, 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 blah. Listen, like the older you get, the less pliable you become. And the harder it is for you to share space with somebody else and make space in your space that you created for yourself. That's the advantage that it has for people that are younger when they get married, because they're a lot more pliable. They're a lot more open and able to share because they're used to it. They've been under their parents' rule. They had to follow their parents' rules. They learned they can't just have everything they want. But as you get older and start establishing your own life, it becomes much more difficult. It's not impossible, though. You're just going to have to understand that I have to make space for this other person in my life, period. I got to make way for their desires. I got to make ways for them to be happy. And sometimes that means that I can't be happy for them to be happy, and that has to be okay. It's all about sharing. It's all about being selfless. You do have standards for what you accept and what you're not going to accept, but your expectations can't be so lofty and so unrealistic that you expect perfection. You would never be happy like that. You said, well, I ain't finna settle. Well, then you're going to settle for being alone. That's what it is. And like I said, at the end of the day, these are the solutions to the problems. You can either take them or at least examine them and try to apply them in the way that you can apply them in your life and make some adjustments, or you're going to find yourself in the same place over and over again, unhappy, looking at other people that are in relationships and you wishing you was in one, and then you're going on vacation by yourself, or either going out, getting drunk, acting wild, laying down with people that you don't know, rinse, wash, and repeat until you're too old to do it. And now you're just alone. Like I said, you can put up the tough guy and tough girl act all you want, but at the end of the day, unless you make some adjustments, you will not get what you want. You can't follow society's standards. Society is not designed, it's not training people how to have lasting and healthy relationships. Society is training people how to die alone. And either you can make some adjustments and get on the train and change courses and try and go back to what you are naturally designed to be a natural woman, soft, weaker, because you are. That man, you ain't finna whoop no man. Like, a man is bigger and stronger than you for a reason. He has been designed to be that way. You are designed to be the weaker. Point blank, period. You can hate it all you want. And that don't mean you have to then that means, and women hate that idea, and I don't want to go back over it, but women hate the idea of being weaker, but you just got to accept the facts. Because you want a man that's stronger than you. That's what you were drawn to. Because that's what you're designed to be drawn to. Accept it. You want a strong man, you're going to have to be weaker to help him be stronger. Point blank, period. And a man isn't interested in dating with another man, unless he's gay. But you know what I'm saying? A man, you're going to have to be a man. You cannot stop trying to follow this example this image that society is trying to paint of men as these, we're equal partners. And it's not, but we're equal in our life together, but we're not equal in role. Can't be. It'll never work. Because we need different things from each other in order for our relationship to work. Point blank, period. So you're going to have to embrace your natural role. You're going to have to fulfill your natural role, and you're going to have to surrender to each other's natural role. And if you're willing to do that and stop wasting your time trying to fit into this broken society and this broken culture and present yourself as another option that understands who I am and how to get along and how to have a relationship with other people and how to really have a relationship with the opposite sex, I should say, then you'll find much more success in drawing a person that has like interest. You know what I'm saying? Communicate, talk about what you want, be very purposeful about what you want, what you expect, and then be consistent about that and about that message. And then don't be afraid when you find something, go for it. Don't be so cautious and scared because you had problems before in the past. No situation gonna be perfect. If you find somebody you like, claim them and build your life together and move forward. It ain't never gonna be perfect. You gonna have problems with no matter who you with. But learn how to compromise, learn how to sacrifice, learn how to make way for this other person and be gracious to each other. And you can find some peace and happiness and compatibility as you walk in life together. That's the episode for today. Like I said, you may not like it. It's up to you to decide whether you want to take it or not. But that's all I got for you. Take it or leave. We go. Thank you for tuning in. We're gonna leave it like we always do. Asking that you stay safe, Stay blessed, and please stay human. We out.